Today, I'm here to expose some serious scams that have been happening in the solar panel industry. If you're considering investing in solar panels or already have them in your home, this is information that you're going to need to avoid getting scammed by this deceitful. I like to mention that the sales agents that work with solar panel companies are professional scammers. They have been heavily trained on sales and marketing tactics to beat their competition. And some of them, they tell you that you are buying the solar panels when in fact you are leasing them, but you don't know. They make us believe one thing. They trick us into believing one thing when in fact it's another different thing, and you find out later on once you are in a big ugly mess. So yes, they're heavily trained just to trick you into talking about the monthly payment, the benefits, saving the environment, getting a refund from the government, and getting a ton of money back from the government, and getting no bill from your electric company. But all that is a sales scam. It's lies. They're crooks. So beware of that. And also some solar companies are offering a freebie. You get a free TV, or you get a free a security alarm system, or you get something free, but it's not free. There's nothing free. They added on to the loan that you are applying, and before you know it, your original loan is humongous at a bigger interest rate, and you end up paying it until you're 120 years old. Practically, it's forever. So buyer beware before you get into any kind of mess and become a victim of this solar panel scammers. Let's take a look at this that I have prepared for you. So let's get started and buckle up. So if you're new to this channel, thank you for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I love to know your thoughts on what I'm going to share with you today. So yes, various solar panel companies are making deceitful promises to consumers like you and me, and unfortunately some people have been scammed really horrible. They have horrible experiences, and I will share also my own personal experience. So for now, we're going to take a look at this video from an elderly couple who were scammed by a deceitful salesperson.
Bernard Mosley and his 75-year-old wife Tassa means staying on a budget. So when a man knocked on their door in Dumbarton Oaks pitching solar panels in December, Bernard initially said no thank you.
I told him, we don't have money to purchase it. He said, oh, there's a government grant. It won't cost you anything.
Intrigued, Bernard invited the man and another salesperson inside. She started with a question.
Do you own your home? I said, yeah. She said, oh, well, government grant was going to cover everything.
Did she say why the government would want to give grants to give you free solar panels?
She said it was a test. It was a test that the government was checking the solar panels as far as the productivity, et cetera, et cetera.
In exchange, the Mosleys say the salesperson told them they would have lower electric bills and the panels wouldn't cost them a dime. The couple remembers signing one document that day.
One page, and then another page that she just wanted an initial.
They read it, but they didn't get a copy. Within a few weeks, city inspectors posted these permits and papers on their home, and then crews installed the solar panels. But after that first initial meeting, the Mosleys were never able to reach that helpful salesperson again.
She always had an excuse.
By text, the saleswoman told Tassa she was with another customer in court. Then she got COVID. Then all communication stopped, and the bills from Sunrun started.
That your Sunrun Solar account has a past due balance.
The letter said the Mosleys were 30 days past due and now owe late fees laid out in their Sunrun contract.
I called and asked for a copy of the contract, and then that's when they sent it, and it was 40 pages long.
40 pages with Tossa's electronic signature. One of the pages shows the payment schedule. It shows the Mosleys could pay some $38,000 in full for their new solar panels or pay monthly over 25 years. At the end of it, the Mosleys would have paid more than $67,000. Bernard would be 107 years old.
The first thing I thought was, oh my God, they're sending us these bills. What happens if we don't pay these bills? Will they be able to, take our home?
Good question. When I contacted Sunrun, based in San Francisco, a spokesperson told me the saleswoman who knocked on the Mosleys' door works for another third-party company called Solar Bros out of Dallas. Solar Bros sells solar panels for multiple businesses. All of its salespeople are independent contractors. And a Solar Bros spokesperson told me they fired the salesperson who lied to the Mosleys about the government grants. Sunrun told me they will no longer allow that woman to sell their products. And within days, Sunrun offered to remove the solar panels from the Mosleys' home, repair their roof, and void their contract.
I hope other people will see this and know that they need to be very, very...
Solar companies have independent contractors, aka independent scammers that go door knocking and they take advantage of consumers, especially elderly people who are not very familiar with what's going on in the world, and who they make believe that the government is going to give them free solars. There's no free money from the government. There's no free solars from the government. There's no such a thing. There's no such grants for anyone regarding solar panels. So these are professional scammers. Unfortunately, this couple was brutally scammed by this person. She lied to them left and right. She made them sign one-page contract, which in fact was 40 pages contract. And their bill was, if it were to, go for the full contract, the gentleman would have been 107 years old by the time this contract was complete. Who in the world would do that? And then who guarantees that this gentleman is going to live until 107? And let's pretend that he lives to 107 years old. He's going to keep paying for this thing when, at such an elderly age, people are no longer worried about working or worried about bills, or they're on a fixed income. They can no longer pay for an additional bill, and all because of this scammer. So fortunately, this couple was able to get out of this bad deal. They fixed the room, the roof, they removed the solar panels, and the whole contract was eliminated. So fortunately, they ran with good fortune. But if they were not alert, if they didn't do something to help them out, then what would have happened to this couple? Probably they would end up with a huge lien on their property, and who can pay that? They're elderly people. They're on a fixed income. They couldn't pay it. So this is really, really one of humongous amounts of scams that consumers just like you and me are experiencing. And it looks like their target market or their target prey is senior citizens. So let's take a look at this lady whose parents-in-law went through the same type of nightmare.
Hi guys, I'm here because I'm so angry. I'm so frustrated. I have all the emotions that I don't even know how to jot it all down and explain to you guys. I'm here to talk about a company called Sanuso Solar Companies and Greenleaf Lending Company. They came into my elderly in-laws' homes, which they do all over DFW, and came to promote a free solar company provided by the government for assistance for elderly people. They said you don't have to pay, it's all free, it's government financed. Then the representative has you sign a contract. So the contract wasn't even signed by my in-laws. It was on an iPad. It wasn't even signed by them. Guess who signed it? The representative. The lawyer saw the contract timestamps, and from the moment that the whole contract was signed to the moment it was closed, less than 1 minute. So she signed it for them. My in-laws were home alone, and if you have a parent, just in general, you understand that they do not understand that stuff. Like, it's so easy for someone to come into their home and for them to be trustworthy, especially if it's another Hispanic person coming in to talk to you. Currently, our in-laws are being forced to pay $41,000 for 40 solar panels that they cannot use, because in the city of Garland, the law says that you can only have 15 solar panels, and they installed 40. Like, they don't even know the city laws, and they've sold them 40 that we can't even use. If they don't pay, they are at risk at losing their home, because they're going to get a lien, and then the contract says that they get the lien, that they get the house, and then they sell the house to get paid. And then this is not the first time that this happened. They're doing it all over DFW. If you go look at the reviews, it's happening all over DFW. We've tried everything to get out of the contract, out of the loan, out of everything. We even hired one of the best lawyers in Dallas, who has like gotten angry with us because she's like, there's no way out. These people have their butts covered for everything. We can, however, is tag every news station on here so we can get on the news and get these people out of business. Like, this is so wrong in so many levels. My in-laws, it's sad to say, but they're in their last years of their life, and they're having to deal with debt that they were literally scammed into getting. All we need from you guys is to share this post, share it. Somebody out there is probably in the middle of signing a freaking contract with them and getting scammed. This place needs to be shut down. We need to get on the news station. We need to bring awareness, because this is not right. And even the lawyer said this is like a true scam. This is what they do. This is how they make their money, is by basically scamming you into getting stuff that you don't need. In my in-laws case, 40 solar panels when they can only use 15 legally in the state, in the city of Garland. So please tag any influencer, tag a news station, tag anyone. Please, we're begging you. Just tag, share. We need to get this out there.
Yes, we need to get this out there, because companies like this one and many other solar companies are scamming people, especially elderly people. And they're doing it without any remorse. Their bottom line, or their objective, is to get money, scam people left and right. It doesn't matter who they are, but they just want to scam people, and especially senior citizens, which are, like she said, in their last years. So in your last years, you want to enjoy your life. You want to be worry-free. Instead, this poor couple has a humongous bill, humongous debt that they cannot, they cannot pay. And on top of that, they have 41 panels that they cannot legally use. What kind of people are these? Professional scammers. That's what they are. And we need to share this left and right, because it's not right. They're doing it to senior citizens. They're doing it to younger people. They're doing it to everybody all over the United States. And we need to stop these people from doing this. And like she said, there's no attorney who can help us out with this, because they're super protected. They put clauses in the contract in such a way that they cannot get sued. So what's left for us, the consumer? Nothing. Just pay the humongous debt. That's horrible. This makes me really upset, because they keep doing it, and they have been doing it for years and years. So there must be a way to stop these people from continuing scamming people. And I will tell you my story. shortly after we see another nightmare experience. So let's take a look at this experience from this consumer. This guy is a younger guy, but he's also being scammed by a different solar company. But the bottom line, he was scammed. Let's take a listen.
I have a small rant about solar right now. About a year ago, we moved into a house, and solar was fully paid off. That was the selling point of the house, solar being paid off. So, the only thing they told me to do was to call and activate it. No info else, nothing else. Cool. I did it. We're good. Year goes by. I have a true-up bill, which I was told about, and they said it was going to be a good chunk of change, not $4,000. I didn't understand. I still don't understand solar. So me being me, I talked to them, and they said, oh, it's normal to have a true-up bill. But $4,000? That feels fucking wrong. I feel like I'm paying more with solar than I was without solar. So I pay that, because what else am I going to do? I can't not have power, right? I have to pay it. So I pay that, and a couple days later, a Sunrun rep shows up and says, hey, did you know that your panels are not producing the correct wattage? No, I didn't. I wonder if that's where that $4,000 true-up bill came from. That makes sense. So he sits me down. We talk it through. We're going to get more panels added. Awesome. Maybe that'll cheapen my bill. Oh, by the way, while I have you here, your panels were never on the entire first year you were living here. Oh, I wonder if that plays a part in the fact that it was a $4,000 true-up bill. So I asked him that, and he said, no, it can't be. I'll talk to him. We'll figure it out. It was never figured out, but that's just part of the problem. A few days later, we got that activated. We got it all activated. Okay, now. We talked about it, got it activated. We're good now. We should be. We'll get there. So they come over. They install the panels. They come, they leave, don't even say bye. Okay, whatever, weird. So, a couple days pass and it starts raining. I have a bubble in my roof. So I call my buddy at Sunrun, Oscar. Oscar, I'll say you by name because we're close here, I swear to God. So I call him and he says, I'll send someone out there right away, immediately, to fix that bubble. You are the man, Oscar. You are the fucking man. Thank you. And he fixes the hole in the roof and leaves. But I still have a fucking bubble in my fucking ceiling, okay? I still have a bubble in my ceiling right now. So, a couple days go by and I'm like, maybe they'll show up, maybe they'll come back, maybe Oscar will text me and say, hey, they're coming to fix that. Never do. A month goes by, still raining, even more rain, bubble gets bigger, bursts, floods my fucking living room. So they didn't fix anything. All right. I text my buddy Oscar, hey man, you never got the roof fixed. It's still leaking. And also, the $4,000 true-up bill has not been figured out, and I'm kind of in debt right now. I would like that figured out. Also, my true-up bill now, this year, within what's today? 3 months, it's already $300. That's $100 a month. This true-up bill is going up. So what's the deal? And his notifications are silenced, and he just ignores me. Thanks, Oscar. Thanks, buddy. Oh, I hope someone sends you this whole rant. So, if you didn't listen to all that, the too long didn't read version, we got solar, got charged $4,000 for solar that wasn't on, got more added for free, got a hole in the roof, got a flooded living room, and on top of all that, guess whose panels are still not on?
So the rant went viral on TikTok. I wonder why. Because there's a lot of people who are experiencing this type of issues. The salesmen are scams. They don't return messages, texts, emails, phone calls. They don't reply. No, because it's not in their best intention to help the consumer. It's not in their best intention to figure things out because their job is to scam people left and right. This poor guy, he's a young guy. He had an electric bill for $4,000. That's crazy. That's unbelievable because he was lied. And he bought the house because the selling point was the solar panels were fully paid. Oh, okay, wonderful. We're going to save money on electricity. That's everybody's dream, right? Well, he got into a horrible nightmare. What's going on? Having a bubble inside your living room and then bursting and damaging your furniture, your hardwood floors, everything you have. And he's not the first person that goes through this. I have a friend who the same thing happened. The ceiling was leaking, the bubble bursted, and it damaged the hardwood floors. They were all curly up, and the dining room table was damaged. Everything in the living room and dining room was damaged. So they're not reliable. Their main objective is to scam people. And sure, they lie to you. They lie to the consumer, to you and me. Oh yeah, we're gonna figure it out. They never figure anything out because it's not in their best interest to help anyone. So that's really horrible. And let me tell you our experience. One of our friends referred us to the solar company that he had a good experience, supposedly good experience. But it wasn't such a good experience because the ceiling in his living room and dining room bursted and damaged everything. But he referred us to them without telling us without disclosing what really happened. And he got he got $500 for our referral. He sold us for $500. Okay, wow, that's a friend. That's a true friend. Well, after that, we called the solar panel company. We wanted to save money on our electric bill. They came over. They measured the ceiling. They told us they were going to put 20 panels. We signed a contract. They run our credit. We signed a contract. Soon after that, a crew came and installed the solar panels, and then the real thing happened. The real thing came. Okay, we couldn't pass city inspection because the panels were installed in such a way and the blueprint was installed in a different way. They didn't match. It's as if the people in the office making the blueprint and the people who came and installed them were on a different page, totally different page. So that took several months of the city inspector coming to our house, checking it and checking it again. The inspector came about 10 times, and every time he came, he was upset at the guys, at the crew, because they didn't match. The blueprint and the permit and what we had installed didn't match. So he kept telling them in writing, this is what it needs to be done. Before you schedule another inspection, contact me, call me, send me an email, let me know your blueprint so that we can be on the same page with this. But they never read. They never read instructions. They never reply to messages. They're on their own little scam world. So a whole year goes by, and the same thing. We couldn't get approval from the city. So the inspector was so fed up. They were giving them a fine or like an extra fee for every time the inspector came and the inspection failed. So it was a never-ending story. The inspector kept coming. It failed. The paperwork and the actual panels didn't work, didn't match. it was as if they spoke a different language and they couldn't understand. So moving fast forward, another few months went by. Then the solar panel. Then the inspector decided to inspect the wiring, and it turns out that the wires that they installed were missing ground cables. So he wrote in the inspection report, missing ground cables. Make sure the breakers and the breakers look black, and they needed a white ground cable or ground. They needed ground, and there were several of them. So another inspector came, and he noticed they're missing the ground. This is not right. Wrote the report again, send it. Well, send it another 11 times. Another 11 times that the inspector came, and it was not a match. It was not, they didn't follow directions. The actual panel didn't have the ground cables as it was requested by the city inspector. So everybody kept being upset at it, and I complained to the guy that came from the solar company, and he says, well, the thing is that the city inspector is a real electrician. It's a professional electrician. In other words, he knows what he's asking for. He is an electrician. He's very well aware of what electrical cables and wiring and panels is required to have power in a house and to protect our house as well. And these people thought that the city inspector was just any guy coming and saying, okay, fine, done. So 2 years later, we're still going into this never-ending story, and we get a call from by this time, the sales agent disappeared. He's gone. So we get a call from corporate saying that the loan agreement had expired. It expired because it took almost 2 years back and forward trying to get the city inspector, to approve whatever they installed, which was wrong because their crew couldn't read, couldn't follow directions, couldn't do the right job. So they keep contacting us and saying, you need to fill out another contract, another loan agreement at a different loan rate, and everything different. So we needed to start from scratch. So by this time, it was 2.5 years. We were already upset because of this never-ending story. And we said, no, we're not going to sign another contract. We signed back at the beginning 2.5 years ago, and the interest rate was lower back then. And we had agreed that everything was going to be done and completed and, connected or activated within, a few months. And it's been 2.5 years. So, no, we're not going to sign another loan agreement. And they keep calling us and calling us. Sure, they wanted us to sign and respond to their text, respond to their email, respond to voicemail. And no, we didn't. So one day, the unthinkable happened to our home. Half of the house lost power. And we're like, what's going on? What's going on? That felt scary. It felt weird, and we didn't know what was going on. It was a scary feeling, something that you're wondering, did they pull the plug on us? And we thought they pulled the plug because we didn't agree to sign another loan agreement. So we're wondering, and by this time it was already evening, so only half of the house had electricity, and the other half were like, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on. It was just horrible. So we couldn't do anything. And I sent them a text asking what's going on. I didn't ask them if they pulled the plug. I just asked what's going on. Only half of the house has electricity. And of course, since they don't reply, they never reply, or they reply whenever they want, it wasn't important to get a response right away. But it was, we had this scary feeling, this eerie feeling within ourselves. So immediately we contact a real electrician, a licensed electrician, to find out what's going on in the house. So the next morning, the electrician comes in, he inspects everything, solar panel, electrical box. He inspects the previous electrical box. He inspects everything, and he discovers something that scared the heck out of us. The breakers were melting, and they were melting because the crew installed all the wiring incorrectly. It was as if whatever they installed wasn't comparable to whatever we had. So when they were turned on, it was too much and it melted. I will show you pictures here so you can see what we went through. These pictures of this breakers melting, it was such a, we got angry, we got worried, and we were also grateful to God for helping us, because the house could have been set on fire. And so we were saved by God, because I truly believe that we were saved by God, because they were melted inside. The insides of the panel was melted. The electrical panel was melted. Take a look at the picture. It was just so scary, and it made us angry. So the next 2 days later, I get a text from the solar panel company, and they said, "Oh, Edison had a power outage in your area. That's why your house didn't have power." See, they didn't even look at the real issue. There was no power outage from Edison in this area. It was the freaking breakers that they were melting. It was a short circuit. So after that, we wanted out. We wanted to get rid of the panels. We wanted to, clear all that, because it was just a scary feeling. And so we asked the electrician to remove all the wires and disconnect us. We don't want anything with that. And then we looked for an attorney, and then we researched for reviews on this company. We researched for other people's experiences, and surprise, we found a lot of people going through similar or even worse experiences than what we had. And so we contacted an attorney, a really great attorney, and surprise, we were told that we cannot sue them. They cover the bases so well that they cannot be sued. And they open shop with one name here, and once they have a lot of complaints or things are not working out, they close that shop and they open again with a new name. And surprise, you cannot find the original one. There's a new one, and they keep doing the same scams to different people, different brand name, different company name, same scammers doing the same thing to a lot of people. So now we have in our home solar panels that do not work. They're just there for looks. And we have a battery that, is just there for looks. And supposedly it costs $5,000 to remove all that. So they're just there. They're good for decorations, but they're good. Other than that, they're not on. We don't ever want to have anything to do with solar panels. They're a complete scam, and fortunately, by the grace of God, we were saved from a huge fire. So let me know if you have experienced this, or your friends and family have experienced this. I would love to know your thoughts on this. And if you're considering getting solar panels, please don't do it. Don't do it. Avoid yourself a big debt and a nightmare. So let's take a look at another experience from another consumer, and then we'll continue this conversation. So this lady is explaining in great detail her horrible experience. And I can relate to her. And I'm sure a lot of you can too. So let's take a look and then we'll talk about it.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about how our electricity bills look like pre-solar panels. Our electric bill in the summer, the highest that it went was around $170. $170 is like the most that we would pay a month. We used to get bills for like 170, like I said, at most in the summer, and that would be like August, July. And then like the rest of the months, it was lower. Winter bills like January, December, they would be like $25. It wasn't that much, okay? Remember, she had said that we weren't going to have to pay an electricity bill anymore. We were only going to be paying for our solar panels for our loan. Well, our bill came in August, and it was like $200 and something. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what? Like they still hadn't been turned on because we didn't have the permits yet. So we were like, okay, it's going to get better. So September came around, and in September, it was like $300 and something, our electricity bill. Now, I'm referring to the electricity bill because at this point, we're already paying for the loan, and the loan is $139 a month. So that's aside from whatever the electricity the electric company is charging us. So August was like $200 and something. September was like $300. And then I reached out to the salesperson, and I was like, what's going on? Like, we are paying a whole lot of money. This is a lot more than we ever have paid for electricity. This is like ridiculous. And she's like, well, maybe you guys are consuming more, because that's the first thing they always do. It's like they blame you. So they're like, maybe you guys are consuming more, and that's the reason why your electricity bill is so high. I was like, in order for us to like get a bill like that, we would have to be consuming double the electricity without solar panels. And that's ridiculous. We're not running a factory here. Like, what the heck? So after that, she's like, let me look into it, whatever. So she looked into it, and then she was like, I think we're going to have to switch you from electricity providers because they're not upholding their end of the bargain or whatever. So they switched us over to a new electricity company. And the next month, same thing, like $300 bill, $300 for the bill. And I was like, oh, and the another thing that she had told us is that they hadn't been turned on in August, which means that we were still paying for like August, the August time in September. It made sense. So finally in September, they did turn them on. So we expect October to be a good month because now they're working. Now everything is good, right? No. We still got a humongous electric bill, like $300 again. And by this time, I was texting the salesperson, and she's like, I don't know what's going on. I think you guys are consuming a lot more electricity than you did before. So you need to like control your electric usage. How about you turn off lights, you stop using the AC so much. I was like, we are not using it any more than we did before. We always turn off the lights during the day. We only have them on at night. We are not doing anything different than we did before. So they're like, it's been a nightmare because what what the salesperson promised us, they have not delivered. And our bills are really high every single month. And I don't know what's going on. So I was like, okay, so we're going to change our roof. And the salesperson had told us that we're not going to have to pay for uninstall and reinstall one time. So we want to use that right now. And she's like, that's not how it works. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, you have to pay $4,000. $4,000. She's like, you have to pay $4,000 to have it uninstalled and reinstalled. But don't worry about it because your insurance company is going to pay for it. The only way, she's like, and I'm like, but she said that we're going to get it for free. And she's like, well, the only way you would get it for free is if you refer two people to us that also install panels. And I was like, there is no way that I am going to refer anybody to you after what we have been going through.
You see, the common denominator here are lies. They're crooks. They lie left and right. They lie about the grant that supposedly the government's going to give you. They lied about the usage of solar panels and the benefits of, no longer paying an electric bill to the electric company. And they're, like I said earlier, they are professional scammers, professional crooks that have no values, no remorse, no respect for others. They just want to scam people. And it's truly sad because we as consumers are being victims of these crooks. And the sad part, or the crazy part about all this, is that this industry is not regulated. If you Google, you'll find tons and tons of people complaining of the same nightmares. Some are worse than others, but we all are experiencing nightmares caused by these crooks, these professional scammers. And there must be something that we all can do together so that these companies are regulated and they, shut down for good. Because, even if supposedly you have a good system and you have good experience, you're not helping the environment. It's lie after lie. The only people getting the benefit are the scammers, the loan people, but us consumer and the environment is not getting any better. No. So bottom line, do not get solar panels. No, it's not a good idea. It's not a good deal financially, emotionally, and energetically. All this drains you from all the stress and the nightmares of going through this thing. So friends, let me know if you have experienced this, or I would love to know what your experience are about this. Maybe you, your friends, your family have experiences. So please let me know. Put the comments in the bottom, and please like and subscribe, share, and let's get educated so that we don't fall into this type of scams. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.